And the words to the first song are already up there on the screen because we have such an efficient team. So if you would stand and join me in singing, that would be lovely. I am whole, perfect, and complete. I am whole, perfect, and complete. I am whole, perfect, and complete. Just as I am, just as I am. In the mind of God, just as I am. In the heart of God, just as I am. In the love of God, I am whole, perfect, and complete. You are whole, perfect, and complete. You are whole, perfect, and complete. You are whole, perfect, and complete. Just as you are, just as you are. In the mind of God, just as you are. In the heart of God, just as you are. In the love of God, you are whole, perfect, and complete. We are all perfect and complete. We are all perfect and complete. We are all perfect and complete. Just as we are, just as we are. In the mind of God, just as we are. In the heart of God, just as we are. In the love of God, we are whole, perfect, and complete. We are whole, perfect, and complete. We are whole, perfect, and complete. Very nice. Okay, next is I give myself permission. Yay! I give myself permission to be all that I can be. I give myself permission to be passionate and free. I give myself permission to be all that I can be. I give myself permission to be joy creatively. I give myself permission to be all that I can be. I give myself permission to be health abundantly. I give myself permission to be all that I can be. I give myself permission to be joy creatively. Well, you guys are good at faking it. There you go. All right. So next is the next one. I stand before you. Okay. Okay. I stand before you knowing we are one. You are the mirror of my soul. I stand before you honoring the part of you that is whole. I stand before you knowing we are one. You are the mirror of my soul. I stand before you honoring the part of you that is whole. One more time. I stand before you knowing we are one. You are the mirror of my soul. I stand before you honoring the part of you that is whole. Very nice. We're going to join hands and sing the Lord's Prayer. So if you would hook up with your neighbor, that would be great. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you. You may be seated, and Carrie is going to come up and do the announcements today.
Good morning. Do we have anyone here for the very first time? Wow, we don't. I'm surprised. Okay. Well, welcome to everyone who's here for the second or more time.
Good morning.
Today we have a training for bookstore volunteers. So yay, we're going to have a bookstore again. It's after Sunday service at 11:10 in the bookstore, and it should only take 10 to 15 minutes. So if you'd like to keep our bookstore open and available, feel free to stop in for the training and help us train by buying a book or two. Yeah. The shredding project. Several months ago, we asked our congregants if they would like to bring in boxes to shred and agreed to cover the shredding costs. If you called the office to reserve shredding service, we are pleased to announce that it has been scheduled, and the shredders will be here on Thursday, August 23rd at 3 p.m. If you have scheduled to bring boxes, have them here by 2:45 on the 23rd. We're not going to be guarding these boxes overnight, so to ensure confidentiality, we ask that you be present at the scheduled time. If you have questions, contact Laura in the office during the week. CDs. Our CD recorder is still not operating, so we do not have CDs available of the service. However, you can visit our website or see the video on Facebook or on YouTube. Let's see. You may have noticed every Sunday there's someone that sits back there and they have some gift cards next to them, and that is our script. And without costing you any more money, the church gets money when you use the gift cards to do shopping or dining at places you normally go. In your bulletin, you will see a survey, and this is so that we know what stores you go to, what cards we should get when we replenish them, so we can have what you like. So if you could fill these out and return them to Jackie or Diane. Let's see. For our our congregation is involved in the community, and we normally tithe to some group in the community. And for this month, the board has decided to donate to the Community Disaster Relief Fund for people affected by the Carr Fire. If you would like to support this fund, we have added a link to our Facebook page, and that will take you to the site supporting this relief fund. And a reminder, our August board meeting will be on the 26th this month instead of on the 19th. Reverend Cindy is going to be enjoying her vacation at that time, and we're going to let her have that and wait a week. And our church, the Church Unity Church, was founded on the power of prayer. And every Sunday we have prayer pilgrims here to pray with you, as well as checking in monthly with prayer calls. If you need prayer support, see one of our prayer pilgrims after service. Could we see who's on today? Okay. So Margaret is, are you too, Nancy? Okay, Nancy and Margaret are available after service if you need prayer. Oh, right in front of my face. Thank you. And now we turn to the affirmation, which is in your bulletin and up there. And if you could say this with me together. I am healthy. In each moment, miracles are taking place in my body. And the daily word today is let go, let God. I turn within to my spiritual source in the face of any challenge, any fear. The affirmation, let go and let God, can be found on the walls of recovery programs throughout the world. Its truth is unquestioned, and its implications have only expanded as our collective consciousness has grown. Today I recognize that letting God is not surrendering to an outside source, but choosing which of the narratives within me I believe. When I quiet the opinions and fears of my ego mind, I allow my innate divine nature to express through me as strength and inspiration in the face of every challenge the day may bring. I am an expression of divine love, and as such, I affirm, I turn within to my source in the face of any challenge, any fear. And from James 4, 5, and 7, God yearns jealously for the Spirit that he has made to dwell in us. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God.
And now we're preparing for meditation. In this very moment, I turn within and find peace beyond all knowing when I but still my mind. I turn within, I turn within. I touch that place within my soul, that place of love where I am whole, where peace and joy have set me free, where eyes of hope see eternity. In this very moment, I feel a sense of awe. I'm no longer separate, for love has joined us all. I turn within, I turn within. I touch that place within my soul, that place of love where I am whole, where peace and joy have set me free, where eyes of hope's eternity. In this very moment, a smile comes from within. Joy that's deep and sacred has filled me once again. I turn within, I turn within. I touch that place within my soul, that place of love where I am whole, where peace and joy have set me free, where eyes of hope's eternity. I turn within, I turn within. I touch that place within my soul, that place of love where I am whole, where peace and joy have set me free, where eyes of hope's eternity.
So as we move into this time of meditation, I invite you to turn within and to breathe. We often forget that the breath is what keeps us thriving and alive. So focus your attention on your breath in this time and this moment, knowing that is the breath of God, the life-giving source to every cell in our body. And breathe. The air is clearer today, so take a nice deep breath with me. And exhale. And let your shoulders fall. Let your arms relax, your neck, your torso. Lay your hands gently in your lap and continue to breathe as you focus your attention on your inner third eye. Just breathe from that space. We know that that is the point of the faculty of imagination and creativity. And we know that as we move within and breathe through that center, we activate all that is creative in our lives to move in and through, to effect change. Breathe. Breathe in the peace of this moment. The time spent in our community, thriving and growing, shifting and changing. Breathe. And as we continue focusing on our breath and move into the silence this morning, keep your attention on that third eye, that faculty of imagination, that point where we reach God in the silence. Our daily word says to let go and to let God. That does not mean to abdicate. It means to allow those things that are going to happen in God's time, not ours. So as you breathe back into this space, back into this community, and bring your awareness back into the room, take another deep breath and exhale. Good morning. Good morning. You'll notice, guess who's here again? Because she was waiting at the door. She does, for some reason, she understands the difference between Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I can leave any other day of the week, but on Sunday morning, she's got her fanny parked right at the front door, wiggling and ready to go. So she's church dog now. And a reminder that let her come to you. Don't try to force her to do anything. She's still a little snappy, but she's getting better. She's getting better. So the talk title today is The Times They Are A-Changin'. And I have to tell you that this talk shifted and changed about 14 times before it got down on the paper this morning. Bob Dylan had a song called The Times They Are A-Changing. How many of you remember that? And one of the verses says, "Come gather round people wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you'd better start swimming, or you'll sink like a stone, for the times, they are a-changin'." And how many of you remember David Bowie's Changes? Remember that one? Yeah, I wasn't going to sing that. So change means to become different. It just means that what was isn't and what is now is. We move from this to that. And sometimes change is painful. And sometimes change is easy and gentle. But it's always different, is it not? Anybody ever have a change, then you stayed kind of the same? Ann did. We'll have to talk about that one, because change in my life usually means something dramatic's going to happen. So there are times in our life and certain religious traditions that require some changes that happen. So I was raised a Catholic, as most of you know, and there were markers along the way where things change. So there was our first communion, that was, well, baptism, but I don't remember that. I was kind of there, but not there. But first communion, I remember, and you get to wear the veil and all the filly like white dress and all that stuff. And then confirmation is a bigger change, because at that point you take on another name. So that evokes a certain change of consciousness from being as a little child to being more as an adult. And then when you get married, women, mostly, although I've seen now some men are starting to take name changes, but we changed names, right, when we got married? How many? Yeah? Some of us more than once. It's okay. Gia had a name change. She originally came to this country as Jean, and she didn't look like a Jean, and that's my middle name, so it was kind of weird. So she became Gia, and I'm sure when she was in Taiwan, she had yet another name or two. So name changes can indicate that there are some things going on as well. So in the Bible, in Old Testament, how many of you remember Sarah or Sarai, wife of Abraham? Okay. So she underwent a name change, right? So she started out as Sarai, and he was Abram. And both of them were gifted name changes. So Sarah represents the emotional aspect of life. And so the name change shifted her from a more logical place to a much more emotional place. Okay? In the New Testament, Simon was changed to Peter. Peter was the first disciple that Jesus chose. Simon represents hearing or listening. So Simon heard the teachings of Jesus, and then Jesus changed his name to Peter, which means rock or stone. And he became the foundation of the disciples and the church on which he was establishing the new order. So we are constantly in this place of change. Anybody ever go through a day where nothing has changed? Come on, you change your clothes. Some of us women are constantly changing our hair or hair color because we can. We change radio stations on the car. We change. Oh, how many of you have heard, oh my, you've changed so much? Is it really you that's changed? Or is it them that's changed? Or did you change and they notice because they don't like it? How many have heard change your brain, change your mind? I Googled, you know me, I like to Google. So I Googled all the songs that have the word change in them. There's a lot. I Googled all the books in Amazon that have the word change in it. That's even more. Change is everywhere. It happens all the time. Every 4 years we get a new president. Every couple of years we change politicians in the House and in legislatures. So change is what happens all the time. The Serenity Prayer says, God grant me the serenity to change. Accept the change, yes. So, change is something that is with us. And we can either flow with it or we can fight it. How many of you fight change? Or have fought change? Or will fight change? Right? And the thing is, change is going to happen. Because if we stop changing, the chances are we have evolved off this planet into something else more permanent. But change is going to happen, no matter how we try to control it. So we can choose to spend that time in change, looking at it from a perspective of, this was then, and now look what can happen. And now it's going to be this way. And we can choose it with a positive. Or we can go, oh my God. Here we go with the change again. I'm getting ready to move. When I come back off of vacation, I'm hiring a realtor in Roseville. And I'm going to get ready to put my house up for sale. And by the faith of God, I'll be down here by the end of the year. I'm done with the commute. Just so you all know. So, Socrates says, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Not on fighting the old, but on building the new. How awesome is that? Now, Socrates lived a while ago, right? Still good words to think on and remember. Because things will change. We can count on that. So what things can we do to change our lives? Many of you who have been in the last 2 classes have changed quite a bit. Would you agree? Yeah. Both life-changing classes. The life of prayer, we're going to settle down a little bit, okay? So let's start with attitude. Because our attitude is what really decides whether a change is going to be easy or rough. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather change happen with ease and grace. So I have a few points here. So number 1, Live in the present moment. You can't change what's happened. And trust me, you cannot control the future. You can have input for what it's worth, but you can only be in the present moment and make your decisions from that point. And the more excited and the more zeal you use in those decisions, the more fun you're going to have while they're happening. So you might as well have a happy attitude. Be positive. Number 2, be positive. Stop all the criticism, the whining, the condemnation, the judgment, all those other things. Stop it. Just stop it. It doesn't make any difference anyway. And you just get to wallow as opposed to celebrate what's going on. Change is a celebratory thing. When you move from this to this, there is always something to celebrate. Always. Number 3. This is a big one, especially with the advent of social media, where we get to see into the lives of other people actually what they want you to see on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat, is don't compare yourself to other people. Your path is not their path. Their changes are not your changes. So if you keep putting yourself in, well, I want that, and I want to do that, and I want to be like that, and yes, it's lovely to celebrate what other people are doing, but it doesn't mean that you are less than or your changes aren't as good as their changes because their changes happen to be in Bali, for example. And you don't know what's going on in their life anyway. You don't know the backstory most of the time. You just see what's out there. So don't compare. And finally, set goals for moving forward. Goals are great. Visions, dreams, whatever you want to call it. Set them. Strive toward them. And if change comes along the way and takes you off the path and moves you in another direction, celebrate that too. And redefine your goal. Nothing is set in stone, folks. Nothing. You get to shift and change. Do you think that when I was 5, I said, I'm going to be a minister? No. No, that was not the plan. The plan was I was going to graduate from high school. I was going to go to college. I was going to be a teacher. I was going to be a teacher for a whole lot of years. Then I was going to retire, make a whole lot of money. And I would be well respected as a teacher, and my students would love me forever and ever and ever. Amen. I would find the man of my dreams. I would marry. We'd have the picket fence and the whole 9 yards. That was the dream at 5. Because it was 1959. Well, there were a few changes that came along the way. Yes, I did become a teacher. Yes, I did get married. I never did have a picket fence while I was married. I do now. It's kind of a rickety picket fence, but it is a picket fence. Didn't make a lot of money teaching. I can guarantee you that. Some students respect me and some don't. So there were changes that happened along the way. I expected to teach in California, and I got diverted to Michigan and spent 6 years over there. Who knew? Who knew at 5 years old that the direction of life would be that many changes? And in each change that I had, there was a gift. Had I not moved to Michigan, I would not have found unity. Had I not found unity, I would not have moved to Sacramento. Had I not moved to Sacramento and found Christ Unity, now Unity of Sacramento, I wouldn't be in LUT. And without that, and the next, and the next, and the next, because they all built on each other. And the change was good. It was sometimes painful, but it was always good. Always something to look forward to. So Nora Ephron, do you know who she is? Yeah. In her 1996 Wellesley commencement speech, she said, "It will be a little messy, but embrace the mess. It will be complicated, but rejoice in the complications. It will not be anything like what you think it will be like, but surprises are good for you. And don't be frightened. You can always change your mind. I know. I've had 4 careers and 3 husbands." Mine's kind of the other way. Charles Fillmore said, "I reserve the right to change my mind." Have a blessed week, everyone.
Such sadness in the voices of my friends, talking about this world and its pain. But we must not lose heart, we cannot give up hope, for long have we journeyed, waiting for this day, these times. These times seem so uncertain, so unkind. But this path makes us stronger, the higher we climb. We were made for these times. Let us turn our fears into courage, into faith, our greed to generosity. We can give our anger to love's compassion and move this injustice towards peace and harmony. These times seem so uncertain, so unkind. But this path makes us stronger, the higher we climb. We were made for these times. Didn't we say we are believers? Didn't we ask for grace? We must remember right now we are needed to stand and shine our light in this hour, in this place. These times seem so uncertain, so unkind. But this path makes us stronger, the higher we climb. We were made for these times. These times seem so uncertain, so unkind. We shall use our voices, we will not walk blind. We were made for these times. Our hearts were made for these times.
So this, oh, sorry.
That is built on prayer. That's what unity is. Actually, once you get into unity, you realize that prayer is spelled U-N-I-T-Y, and P-R-A-Y-E-R spells unity. It's amazing how that works. You don't need a lesson in how this works. Whatever name is in here is prayed over here, goes to unity. But what I want you to think about is when a name appears in this box, and whoever put it in, that prayer ripples out not to a finite number of days and people. That prayer extends to infinity, because we don't know how many people have been drawn into the prayer. But we know that once something is put into mind, it can never be removed. It continues to ripple. That is the beauty and the purpose of a prayer box, is to know that there is an infinite number of prayers for the greatest good of whatever name, whosever name is in here, or what condition. And thank you, Mother, Father, God, for this understanding and the beauty and the peace and the grace that flows back to the person. Thank you, God. So it is. Amen.
Okay, good. Gosh, somebody's got to keep track of me all the time. So I before we do our love offering, I want to acknowledge Reverend Irene and Gordon Whitmore, who are here visiting with us today. When were you guys here? When did you start here at Unity of Modesto?
1992.
1992, and then you went straight from here to ministerial school, is that correct?
From here at Unity of Modesto to Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there to Hawaii first?
Antioch.
And then
San Jose.
San Jose. And San Jose is where I met Reverend Irene when I was still studying to be a licensed Unity teacher back in like 2006, 5, 6, 7, somewhere around in
Something
there.
like that.
Yeah. So welcome.
Thank
It's
you.
good to have you home. So tonight, now is the time of our love offering. So if you would take your offering into your hands and say with me, hold this in your heart. Don't just say it. Know it. Feel it in your heart. Our love offering statement. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Please join me in singing. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed,
So with great gratitude, because we are all so very blessed in this community, and knowing that we are one with the divine at all times, no matter what the changes that come and go, we are one with our divine Father in heaven. And we receive these love offerings knowing that they are spreading our blessings to others to be as blessed as we are. And we give great thanks and release this with an amen.
Amen.
So at this time, we're going to make a circle, and we'll say the prayer for protection before we close the service with the peace song. Come back here. And I'm thinking down the middle might be a good idea for this side. I don't know.
Stretch them out.
Stretch Armstrong. Wow, look at that. All right, so let's say together the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there